This is a different episode, guys.
Yeah, it's a little different, a little spicy this time around.
Neither of us have seen this movie. This is the first of our Oscar movies.
Are we making that big Oscar announcement right now?
Yeah, I mean, whenever we air this.
What's up, everybody? We're back. And you haven't seen ...
West Side Story? West Side Story?
West Side Story?
What? Have you seen the original?
I have not seen the original. No.
I already know this answer, but I feel like I need to ask it for the audience.
No, for sure. Have you seen the original?
I started watching the original. I think I got through like the first like 2 dances, and I was like, where's the love story?
And you had to turn it off.
I had to turn it off because it was like black and white too. And I don't mind black and white, but I'm not a huge fan.
Why is that?
Because it's boring. Black and white is boring.
Get 'em! Get 'em!
But I think also at that time they could have made it in color, and they were just being little,
You know what's wild though is I seen a review recently, and the old one was in color.
Maybe I was seeing in black and white then. I don't know. I remember it being in black and white, but maybe it is in color.
You got the black and white edit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we were saying before, like we are kind of venturing off into a little side route. Who knows how long this side route will last, but we are on our journey to watching
all the Oscar films.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of them because there's a lot. But I think is there like 15 or so?
There's a few, yeah.
There's a lot because we were trying to get like all the best picture. We want to watch all the best pictures. I think we've seen a couple of them already, so we might not review those. We might just give a little bit about them at the end of some episodes. But yeah, there's quite a few. So we have like all the best pictures, and then we also have like ones that have like a lot of other nominations in like other big areas besides best picture. So
yeah, I mean, for all you diehards out there, diehard listeners, let us know if you're dying to have us watch one of these Oscar nominees. There's a few of them. We have our own personal list that I think we're gonna go through.
Yeah, I feel like they're all the big ones though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be interesting for you guys.
Yeah, we're both like in the dark, and we're gonna be shown the light in every single one of these.
Every single one.
The light or just more darkness. But yeah, we just watched West Side Story in theaters by Steven Spielberg. What a guy. This was Do
you like Steven Spielberg? What's your like stance on Steven Spielberg films?
He has a promising career ahead of him, for sure.
So promising.
My first Steven Spielberg movie I've seen. And honestly, wow, extremely
This is your first?
This is my first Steven Spielberg movie.
You popped your Steven Spielberg cherry by watching West Side Story?
Yeah. I don't know what else I could have watched.
Seen like E.T.?
He did E.T.?
Yeah.
Wow.
Should I just read you off some of this things? Because I feel like you've probably seen some of his films.
Jaws?
Yeah.
E.T.
E.T.
West Side Story.
But yeah, some other ones he's directed is like E.T., Schindler's List, Jaws, Jurassic Park, Ready Player One. I've never seen that one. Saving Private Ryan.
He directed Ready Player One?
Yeah.
Wow. Saving Private Ryan. Wow.
Catch Me If You Can, The Color Purple. Yeah, he directed like Indiana Jones too. I forget that. Minority Report.
No way! He directed Minority Report?
Yeah, The BFG, Lincoln, War Horse.
What?
Hook. Yeah, he has a pretty big list.
What in the world? This man is the Drake of movies.
Don't even compare him to Drake. What the fuck? Drake isn't even comparable.
Comparison to that would make sense. Damn, he only has nonstop classics.
Yeah.
All right. That's different. I thought he did. I knew he did Jaws, and I knew he did Jaws.
Did you ever watch Schindler's List?
I might have. I don't know. It's either on my list.
You would remember. That film is in black and white, and it's about the Holocaust.
Yeah, no, probably not. Okay. But what a guy, though.
So let's get into the review of this film.
Yeah, we just watched West Side Story in theaters last night, and I'm glad we did, because it's
it was actually 2 nights ago.
Wow, it's really stuck with me then.
It's actually nice because we always watch the movie right before we do the review, so we had a couple days to like think about it, and I think that was like nice.
Yeah, sit on it and like kind of
Yeah.
separate from us for a second.
Especially since neither of us had seen it before, and neither of us had seen the original either.
Yeah.
So, what were your thoughts going into West Side Story?
I had really high expectations. I'm not gonna lie. I used to not consider myself a fan of musicals, but I think I am.
Are you really?
Yeah, I think I am. I mean, the main like trilogy to get me into like movies was a musical.
Oh.
High School Musical. No one knows me that well, but yeah, it's interesting because I wouldn't say I like musicals, but yeah, I was excited for West Side Story.
So you're excited for a musical, and did you have any other like ideas of what it was about, or that it's like a Romeo and Juliet like?
It was a play before, right? Or no?
I think it was on Broadway before, maybe.
Yeah, I knew it was like an old school story. And it was Steven Spielberg, and yeah, we were just gonna be in for a ride.
Yeah, I was excited going into it. I like some musicals. I don't like all musicals, but I think I like most musicals, to be honest.
Mhm. What do you like about musicals?
Oh, they're fun, but the one thing I is usually the downfall of them to me is like when the songs just seem to like drag on forever and you just don't like feel like they're getting anywhere. So that's one thing. Or when they keep repeating songs over and over again.
We should talk about some great things about it, though. I have to do this guy justice. I have to look up his name because I had it for like 2 seconds ago and now I don't. Mike Feist. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Guy who played Riff.
Is that like the main guy?
Yeah, from the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a guy. Adored that guy. Hella. I was like, he's like a screen magnet for sure. Like every time he was on the screen, I was like, just looking at him, like I don't know why. But yeah, he was an extremely compelling actor.
Yeah, he really committed to like the 1950s, 40s like accent and everything. Like he really sounded like that too. He was really good.
Yeah, he was really cool. You know who else was a really cool actor? Homeboy with the helium voice. In that like when they're all in the office or the cop room, when the cop leaves and then he's pretending to be the cop.
He's like the cop, yeah.
With his high helium voice.
Yeah. I thought all the actors they had were really good, but the Jets definitely had quite a few that were really good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everybody had to have been like dancers or something. You know what I mean? Because they have so much like dancing, except for maybe the leads. I don't know what their experience is, but
yeah, the like choreography and the musical numbers and like the cinematography, all that off the charts. Like
yeah, it was
insane.
so good.
The color, like you could really feel like it's like for so long like movies like you kind of like digest now since we're not to sound all like we're film students yada yada, but it's like I haven't seen like a movie that's like a movie, you know, for like a long time.
It really felt like that, and I feel like the way they colored it and like filmed it really looked like you were watching a film from the 50s. You know what I mean? Because like it was really well done and it was modern in a way, but it still definitely paid a lot of homage to that. But like a lot of the camera stuff they did, it was like, because it is a play, I guess, right? Or was it first a movie?
Honestly, I've been saying that this whole time. I have no idea.
We have no idea, but it looked like a really, this is not an insult, it looked like a really well done like filmed play. Like if you were gonna like film a play, like this is like a great way to film it, because there's just like movement in every shot pretty much for the most part, you know, and like really moving with all of the choreography and the dances, and it was like, honestly, there was never a dull moment for me. I didn't really feel like it was too long or anything, even though it was kind of a long movie.
Not say the same. It was a long ass movie, no lie, but I think it's just because after the story lost me, I was like, all these other things are kind of like,
when did it lose you, the story?
Which is like towards the end.
Yeah.
But then after that, I was like, all right, this is gonna end. Like, like I'm like, you lost me. Like, I was like, yeah, cool. But yeah, like the musical numbers and all that were like insane. Like the amount of people in them, like extremely detailed. It was wild.
Yeah, it really was. Another thing about this film is like a lot of it is in Spanish. So I could not understand. I did not know what a lot was happening because they don't have any subtitles, which in a way is okay. But they have a lot of it. I would say like probably a fourth to like a third of it is in Spanish. And I don't know what they're saying. So I have to imagine to know what they're saying. I'm like, I don't know. And I don't know what the point of that is. Like, yeah, I don't know. Kira had like made a point that like maybe it's like the way of like Spielberg being like, yeah, this is like how it is for like people watching like English films that don't speak English.
Me being on the end that could understand,
Yeah.
I was like, this is dope. Me and Enrique actually talked about it a little bit. But yeah, it is a huge commitment to be like, they're going to speak Spanish and that's it, you know. It's like it just so happens that they're speaking Spanish, no subtitles. You get it, you get it. If you don't, like type thing. That's a big choice for sure. It's easier for me because I understand that shit a little bit. I honestly, there's
like
parts I
in
didn't
French. Imagine it were like in French or something, or like a language you didn't understand.
Hearing that shit like, damn.
Yeah, because like it's like you can. I think their acting's good enough that you can figure out what they're saying, but
From my personal experience, I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I've been around enough Spanish speakers to know that if, say, we both speak Spanish, we're not going to be bouncing back and forth to English. Like, there's no point, you know? Like, if we both understand Spanish, why? Unless, because granted, a big part of the thing is like, oh, speak English.
yeah,
trying
Anita's
to force
always
people to
saying
speak
that.
English. But in situations where, like, that wasn't happening, like, people were still, like, throwing in English words and everything. It's like, that does not happen, like, in real life. Like, you don't just, like, switch, like, your thing just because. But it's more common for people who are, like, natively English speakers who are like speaking their other language. But if your native language is Spanish, why would you go back to English? Like, you know, so there's a lot of parts that happen like that where I was like, dang, like, yeah, I don't know. But I think they're doing it because like a lot of the parts that were fully in Spanish, like they would repeat kind of in English anyway.
That's why I don't understand why they just wouldn't put subtitles on the Spanish part and then cut out like them explaining it in English. Because I kind of figured, like, they're probably going to say this in English, too, but I don't know. It was kind of weird.
I feel you. I honestly, I'm down for it, but I don't understand I'm on the end that
yeah, you
could,
understand
like, pick it up. But yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Did that, like...
No, it didn't, like, alienate me from the film. I was just like, I just want to know what they're saying. Like, I don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just want to know what they're saying.
Yeah.
So that's it. We were talking about the chemistry between Ansel and Rachel.
Yeah. What's her character name, by the way?
Her name's Maria.
Maria and Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was her chemistry or if it was just the story, you know. Because to me, I was like, it was fine. It was just like up until the point of like, yeah, like love conquers all. I'm like, you do not have, like, I don't know if anyone could have enough chemistry to be like, love conquers all, like over family, over everything.
Yeah, it's like such a short romance that it's like they really have nothing to go on besides the fact they're both like really attracted to each other. And like that's it, you know?
Yeah, they didn't like grow up together, like, yeah, no, like they literally met at a dance.
And I don't know, like, what's your stance on, like, so I kind of get Maria because she is really young, but, like, Tony being so, like, gung-ho for, like, this relationship after everything he's been through with the Jets, and, like, he knows their stance on, like, the Puerto Ricans and, or I guess the Sharks, really. And, like, he's just like, yeah, it's okay, it doesn't matter, dude. Like, I don't know, it seems very weird and naive of him to be like that. And not to understand the gravity of, like, them being together.
Yeah, to me, I was like, I feel like he just, like, grew in jail and was just, like, he kind of separated himself from the Jets. So, like, I could understand that part and, like, him, like, being in jail, like, meeting Puerto Ricans and stuff like that. And, yeah, and just, like, having, like, an elevated mindset.
No, I understand that, and I understand that he's okay with it, but I think that that's very what's the word? Like irresponsible to be like, yeah, well, because I think that way, everybody else thinks that way now, which they clearly don't. Like he was in jail a year, but these other people have not changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like they still think the same way, and he knows that. That's why he didn't want to go to the dance, because he didn't want to be around that anymore.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what other topics did you have?
This is a movie in particular. I try to think about this. I don't try to think about this, but it ends up happening when like I watch a movie where it doesn't 100% click, and I'm always just wondering why. Someone told me like a film professor told me like you always like question like why make a film in the time that you're in, like why make West Side Story in 2021? So I'm just thinking about that, and I want to know what you thought about that.
Seems like a loaded question.
Got you.
Why make it now? I mean, I think in part it's definitely something that, well, from the end, that Spielberg dedicated it to his dad. So maybe his dad's like a big fan of it. Maybe something he's always wanted to make. But, like there is a lot of division in the country with like race and everything still to this day. And I don't know. That's probably definitely another reason.
Do you feel like it helps the cause?
The cause? I don't know. I think it's like, it's one of those things like, it could be reflective for some people.
Word.
What do you think?
I will say, I think another main reason I didn't like this movie, and it's hard to explain, and it's happened in a few movies, and it's kind of in a similar vein with Dirty Dancing, honestly. But I feel like movies like this, like, kind of further like the issues we have regarding race in general. Like I don't think it helps really, to me, in my eyes, because when like a movie's just like strictly about race and like the battles with race, I'm like I just don't see it benefiting like at all. Like to me, I'd much rather have a movie that like Minari was such a great example, such a sigh of relief, and still like one of the biggest sighs of relief within the last like 2 years in terms of like having like race in movie and portraying it in a way that's like, we're all just people at the end of the day, like instead of like flaunting this huge thing on like how different we are, And I know that's probably not what like Steven Spielberg was trying to say, or like it just so happens that it's like, like the street kids and the white kids versus like Puerto Ricans, like was the whole story of it. But then I'm just like, why? Like, why tell that now? Like, what's the point? Is it because like, and I hate to think like this, but it's because like Hispanic culture is like popping now and it's like marketable, and musics are starting to grow too, and now there's finally like a financial incentive and opportunity to like make this movie like as big as it was. I don't know. I don't know. Just little thoughts that were buzzing around my head.
I did find it interesting that like Minari was like different to you on like how they like treated like race and stuff. Because to me it was like the same level, if not like worse in a way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
To me, it was like a struggling new gen, like American family struggling up to like survive in America, and they just so happen to be Korean.
But they weren't treated that way.
What do you mean?
Like I think that there's different parts in the film where they're not treated that way. Like certain things that happen in the film, like people are racist towards them and treat them unwell. So it's still a huge part of the film.
I mean, it's a huge part that they're like foreign to the area for sure, and like there's like racism going on, but like the main story is their struggle to like, to me, the main story was their struggle to like survive and make a life in America, which is what happens. Like there will be like some like people who are like not used to like, I don't know how you would say, like just like people who are like people who are like not of the same like skin color and facial structure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whatever like the story faults happened or whatever, I'm gonna give Steven Spielberg the accolades, like, because never did I ever feel like this is like effed up, you know.
Mm.
But back in the day, they literally like hired like no like a all like white American cast, brown face the Puerto Rican people, like the Puerto Rican sharks, and like yeah, like it was like
Yeah.
a whole like I heard like I didn't even get to watch it, but just from the clips I saw and from what like Enrique told me, like yeah, and like the Spanish was extremely broken, like yeah, yeah, yeah. So like we'll give Steven Spielberg the accolades for that for sure,
I mean, that's
and the actors of course.
yeah. Should we get into movie quotes?
Oh yeah, we should look at our notes. I got some stuff.
All right, we're gonna do our favorite movie quotes.
Movie quotes. Oh, I love this little bit that you added.
Yeah,
This is probably the
funny.
best bit we've had. We're gonna add more bits, but this one right now is
This
like
is our
holding us
only
down.
bit right now.
It's so good.
It is funny. I like to write them down and be like, just some of these things out of context are really funny.
Damn, I'll let you go.
Okay, this was riff to Tony when he's trying to convince Tony to go to the dance. He's like, I know you're just too deep for me.
That's hella funny.
It was really funny.
They really had a really romantic thing going on.
You know, that's the thing I hate about these films is like, you know, whenever they have like a bromance or like a sister thing going on, like, why don't they just kiss? Like they have more of a relationship than this girl he just met. Like that's what I want to
Why
see.
don't you just kiss?
Yeah, please just fucking kiss. And like it makes sense. You guys have known each other forever. Like you clearly have love for each other. Like what's stopping you? What's your quote?
Honestly,
I have a lot more. So
I'm glad you do. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
I don't have that many.
where are yours from in the film?
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't have any.
Really? The next one is when Tony's just singing her name over and over again. And one time he says Maria really weird. So I just wrote Maria.
Can you do you remember how he
I
said
don't
it?
remember, but they have lowercase MAR and then uppercase IA. So I don't know. Like, you interpret that how you will.
We'll be on the lookout for it when we watch it. West Side Story.
All of these are just quotes that Tony said. He was just a funny guy. Oh yeah, when he's like talking to Valentina or Valentino, I don't remember if it's Tina or Tino, but and he's asking her like how to say these different things in Spanish, and he's like, "What's forever?" That part was so funny. Okay. Oh yeah, this was in the scene with when the Jets are taken to the police station, and the one guy's being interrogated, and he says, "I just hang around until someone says let's go," and then the interrogator is like, "And then?" And he says, I go.
I remember that part, yeah.
I think that was the high-pitched guy, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, he was not saying a word. He was not ratting on nobody. That's hella funny.
Then this is when Tony and Bernardo have a confrontation. And Tony's like, we got off on the wrong foot. And Bernardo's like, I'm always on the right foot. It's so funny. All right, this is the last one. This is when... Wait, what's his character? Tony. Again, back at Tony.
Oh, man.
So many funny quotes. He's like, gee willikers, Batman, since when did you have a rod? And that part was funny.
Out of context,
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
When did you get a rod?
Yeah, I wish I would have wrote some stuff down, because, yeah, there's some silly stuff.
There really was.
But I'm just, like, thinking about, like, all those times, I'm just, like, the scenes were just, like, wow, they're just beautiful. Like they were all just like so cinematic, so movie-esque.
Yeah.
Was that all your notes or just your quotes?
That was all my quotes.
Just for the podcast, what is like your thought on like now you have like a filmmaking background, yada yada. How does that affect your movie watching now? Or has it always been like that? Or you've always been like for a long time just been like, oh yeah, and like focusing on like cinematography separate from like costume and like, you know what I'm asking?
Is there less like shine when you're watching it?
I will say, I don't know if everyone agrees on this, and I don't know if I've heard different, but yes, it does affect it for sure. I think you learn to have like a deeper appreciation for film for sure, but in like a whole different way. Like now it's like everyone, a part of it's like you kind of feel like next to them in a way. Like you can like they're like legit human beings, like doing an actual like performance and job and everything. Whereas before it was like extremely magical. Like every movie was something that was just like made from the sky, you know? Yeah, I don't know how much more I want to elaborate on that, but I'm sure people are curious. Yeah, it does affect it for sure.
Yeah, I've heard people say that, but like for me, it hasn't really. I think if anything, it's just like, oh, it just like makes me appreciate the film like even more, or it makes me like they spent 100 million on this and this is what they have, like, you know what I mean, like things like that. But I don't know that. I think it's just put things in perspective for me, and it's not really taken away from like, because I still get the same like if there's like a movie that I really like or whatever, like it's still, you know, can definitely be like very like escapist in a way. But yeah, I don't think it's really affected me that much, honestly. But for a lot of people it has, and I've heard them, I'm like, why do you even want to go to film school? Like, what's the point if it's gonna like upset you that much? Like, I don't know, but they're haters.
People hating on film work.
People hating on.
Yeah, West Side Story. We're just gonna jump right into it, high key.
Oh yeah, this is probably just gonna be spoilers throughout.
I don't know why for me it was hard to like suspend my disbelief when homegirl is like, oh, I still love you, yada yada, after he literally just killed her brother like the
We're
night
jumping right in
before.
there.
Bernardo dies. I don't know if it, which just wasn't the chemistry between Rachel Zegler and Ansel Elgort, and both were amazing. But it's just like, to me, like, yeah, it was just hard. Like, and then it like brought me back into like, oh, this is like, it's like an older concept. Like, okay, this is like a Romeo Juliet type story. Like, love prevails over all, like over family, over everything. Like, and I don't know, maybe I'm just not as hopeless of a romantic as I like used to be. But I was like, are you joking? Like, what are you doing? Like, homeboy just like killed your brother that you live with, and that I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, that part was like, I was all for it really up until that part, to be honest. I was like, it's fine, like it works, like, you know, she's really young and he's stupid, and that's what I was. But then like after the whole thing happens, I get it, he ends up killing Bernardo because he kills his best friend. I get that part, that makes sense to me. But like, why would you? I just don't understand him going back to her and being like, girl, you forgive me, like it was only your brother. Like, I don't know, that whole part is like, so what the fuck.
Yeah, like, fuck my brother, I don't care about my brother.
Yeah, like
home,
you've known this for a day. It's been one day. That was another thing that was like, holy shit, a lot happens in one day. Because it was I think it happened because they met at the dance, and the next day they had their like, what is it called, a rumble. Yeah, they had their rumble. A day later.
Yeah, I'm just like, dang, bro, like.
Yeah, the whole ending was just like so upsetting.
I was like, oh man.
But yeah, and then like after all that happens, and Anita comes back and's like, oh yeah, you know, she just saw Bernardo dead, and she comes back, she's calling for Mitch, then she catches them, and then that whole song where she's like singing to Anita about like, well, I love him, like you should understand, like you love my brother, I love him, your brother just died. That's so tasteless. And then you're singing like, yeah, I mean, I understand and it's really sad, but I love him.
Yeah, but I love him.
Yeah.
And you should understand, because you love Bernardo, but he's dead now.
Yeah, that was the same day. He literally died like 2 hours before. Like,
she's like, what the fuck?
You should understand why I had him, like, you know, have sex with him. Like, you should understand. Rachel
Zegler's character, I think, got slapped in that moment by her, didn't she?
Oh, but yeah, Anita slaps Maria, yeah. That was good. And then
honestly, no, I really don't agree. Like, if Ansel Elgort's character went to the Rumble to try to like make peace, and I understand like in rage, like your best friend dying, but like if your love is so strong, you're thinking about like Rachel Zegler's character, how are you gonna go and kill her brother? Like, yeah, I'm just like, bro,
I think his whole like character arc, it just seemed like he'd learned nothing.
Do you have any movies that you consider a masterpiece? If it's like your favorite or anything, it's just like they did no wrong.
Oh,
Because this, I think, I just can't think of it right now, but there's movies that I didn't particularly enjoy, but I'm like, yeah, like that, I can see that being like a masterpiece, you know? No, I probably enjoyed it, but it isn't like all my favorites, but it's like, okay.
I feel like Titanic is probably there then. It's pretty
Honestly.
entertaining considering how long it is.
Honestly,
West Side Story is fucking good too. Like, this one was really good. I didn't really have, like... I don't know. Like, everything's, like, technically right. I think you could say that for a lot of Spielberg films, honestly. Like, he always is, like, technically on point.
yeah.
Like, you're never, like, off-put by anything.
Do we have like a formula for rating, or are we just going off vibes still?
We've never talked about this. I also don't know if we've talked about our background in film or anything like that. It just had me thinking.
They're just like,
Okay, so we'll just go back and forth with our favorite films so you get an idea where we're coming from with these ratings.
I'm excited. Let's go.
Okay, one of my favorites is Place Beyond the Pines, which is my Dane DeHaan love.
Dane DeHaan, Place Beyond the Pines, amazing movie. First that comes to my mind, Coco.
Coco. What's my next one? This one's like I'm gonna do a couple more before I add this.
Okay.
What is it? I really like this one film. It's called Days of Heaven.
Hereditary.
Ooh.
Greatest horror movie ever made.
A lot of newer movies for Eric.
Yep.
The Assassination of Jesse James. This goes back to the soundtrack is so good. It's a longer title than that.
I don't consider a lot of movies masterpieces. This is a masterpiece, Interstellar. Probably my all-time favorite movie of all time. Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. Inception's really good, but I would also say like The Dark Knight are some of my tops of his.
Mm-hmm. Cooper Rave's most two recent movies, honestly, were like I like really like them for more than just like the actual storyline of it, but like him just being in the cut, like and really like literally directing his own stuff and acting in it like as a lead. But he did Shithouse in 2020, and then he just did Cha Cha Real Smooth that just premiered at Sundance. Both absolute bangers. It's good leeway into what would you rate it?
What would we rate it? You should go first though.
Oh,
I already have mine in mind.
To be honest, man, 7 out of 10.
I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Nice. What's the reasoning for not having a 10 out of 10?
I think it's like, I don't know, it didn't feel like a 10. It is really good. It's maybe comes down to like personal preference. Like it was a little bit long, and I think that it's like partly the story and this like love story of being like the conveyor of them, of the two of the rival gangs or whatever, like kind of seeing that they are at fault for being rivals is kind of, it's used a lot. But I know that's the part of the story, but yeah.
For sure.
Why do you give it a 7?
Oh. Yeah, the story aspect of it just like kind of fell through for me. I'm just like, it was cool. I mean, if you're into it, like, that was cool. I just wasn't personally, but can't deny like the incredible dancing sequences, the musical sequences, the amazing actors that were a part of it. Like, it's just like that one thing that like messed it up for me, where it's like just like, oh, like I just can't get past it.
And that was the story.
Yeah, just like that story part of like that love conquers all type thing. Like,
yeah, it's used a lot, and I think it's like naive in a way, especially when like showing like stories like this where it has to do with race. It's like it's kind of naive. I get it that this is like, you know, literally just a remake of the old film, but yeah.
Yeah, but jeez, everything else was insane. Yeah, 7 out of 10.
We'll have to write this. We'll have to start having a Oscars like running list going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, with like all of our ratings.
Yeah, it's nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, for Best Picture and Best Director.
You think it should be?
I feel like it should be. This one makes sense to me. Sometimes they nominate people that have like been nominated before just because, but I think this one is pretty good.
Hell yeah.
At least for director. I feel like it definitely, like, the direction of it is really good. What are we watching next?
Oh, I really want to watch Power of the Dog. Power of the Dog?
The one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
And, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Jesse Plemons.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Jesse Plemons more than Benedict Cumberbatch, high key. But I'm excited to see both of them. No knock to Benedict Cumberbatch.
Where did you get this Jesse Plemons love?
He's been everything I've seen him in.
Since like Game Night? That's the first one I think I remember seeing him.
I've seen him in Black Mirror.
Oh yes, he was in there. There's a lot of good actors from Black Mirror.
Oh yeah, there's so many people who like started their careers from Black Mirror.
Like Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya, yeah, and Jesse Plemons.
Yeah. We'll have to watch it. Can't wait to see Benedict Cumberbatch.
And Jesse Plemons.
And whoever else is in it, and whoever directed it. This is a little breakdown of The Power of the Dog, if you guys aren't for sure. And you all can go watch it because it's on Netflix. So
oh yeah, this will be a fun
check
episode.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, go watch it and come back and see our thoughts on it and all that extra little stuff.
This is a little rundown. Charismatic rancher Phil Burbank inspires fear and awe in those around him. When his brother brings home a new wife and her son, Phil torments them until he finds himself exposed to the possibility of love. What does that sentence mean?
I guess we're just going to have to find out.
Torments them until he finds the possibility of love? Holy shit.
Damn.
Can't
That's
wait
true
to
love
see
right
this.
there.
We'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this
Bye.
has been another episode. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.